Hello. Hi, it's Delia. Thanks for being here. And today is November 20th. So we're 2 days away from Thanksgiving. And I wanted to jump on here to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving and particularly gratitude. There's a lot of kind of mandatory energy in November about you need to have gratitude and you need to be grateful, and Thanksgiving is all about gratitude. And it isn't that gratitude isn't wonderful, because gratitude's pretty great, but the mandatory part of gratitude is pretty icky. There's so much lip service given to gratitude these days. And what I have discovered over time is that having things projected at me, especially things that I'm supposed to do or feel or be, doesn't actually help anything. And if anything, it gets me in a cantankerous mood, right? I will be reactive to having people project onto me. Of course, now I have tools that I don't have to stay reactive, but it's a natural response. And the notion of having an attitude of gratitude is a wonderful idea. It's a great ideal. It does solve a lot of things. It does do wonders. But to have it over your head like a threat, and to have it be trained on you like a laser, right? These are not good things. My body response to that is like I'm being threatened, right? I'm being threatened that I have to be grateful. I'm being threatened that I have to forgive. I'm being threatened that, I have to be something that somebody else has decided I need to be. So first of all, let's just validate if your body is irritated around gratitude and around the attitude of gratitude and whether or not you are great, have gratitude, all this judgment, right? And all this pressure around gratitude and Thanksgiving. Let's just validate that your body has a good point. There's a lot of projected energy coming at you, and bodies will always be annoyed by that rightfully so. It's like, it's annoying to have somebody else's pain pictures thrust at you. And, we do it goes back and around. But let's just validate that that's an annoyance. And your body can be irritated. And it could be one of the reasons why you find it challenging to be around family members, is because of the projected energy that's coming at you about who you're supposed to be, or how you're supposed to be, or how you're supposed to see things or feel things. The truth is that in families, there tends to be a lore, and it's the story we tell about who we are and about where we come from and about who did what when, and who is the class clown and who is the drama queen. We have these kind of cliched stories that get overlaid, and then it makes it difficult, especially when you're not living in that environment and you go back to it for small pieces of time, like the holidays. The movie industry is full of movies about this, right? Where, you go and you can't be yourself, or, you haven't been a kid in a long time, but suddenly you're acting out like a kid. So it's just a really good thing to remember that however you're responding, and whatever you came up with in the first place when you were a kid, it was genius. It was a genius response to something. And so when you can start to validate your own genius, then a lot of the stress can cool out. You can just drop it, because you're not stressing over whether or not you're bad and wrong, or whether or not you did something bad and wrong, or you're not, trying to fight your way out of a paper bag. And a lot of times that's pretty much how it feels with the family of origin, is that you're still trying to individuate, right? And have your story of who you are and what's happened to you and what you love and what you care about. Instead of just having the family story about who you are and what's happened to you and where you want to be. That conflict of who owns your story is a big conflict, and it plays out at holidays. And if you are simultaneously reconciling your own autonomy, struggling for your own autonomy, and who owns the story of the thing that happened when I was in 7th grade, plus you have this tsunami of expectations of your being happy, joyous, and free, and have an attitude of gratitude and everything is groovy, when somebody's trying to own your story, it's not going to be fun. And really, what I would like for you to take away from this is that however you're responding, there's genius in it, right? So if it's a case of their owning your story, what if you own your story? And what would that look like? And what would you have to do to own your story? My body and a lot of bodies do really well with writing things out. I don't mean on the computer, I mean handwriting. And if you, whenever you're hooked on something, whenever you get activated, right? It's something that wants to be healed in present time. So it's something from the past, usually from a long, long time ago. And it's pricking you right now because it really wants to really wants to heal and move on from that stuck spot. So a way that you can do that is you can write your story. And you don't have to write your entire life story. You can just start with the stories that are bubbling up right now. And what did you experience? And when you're writing the story out, you can catch yourself trying to convince other people of what happened. I guarantee you it doesn't work. And the best way for you to spend this energy that's coming up is to tell yourself the truth about your experience and validate the truth of what your experience was. Usually it's someone, you got your feelings hurt, or you felt discounted, or someone actually literally wrote you off, right? These are painful things, having to do with the characters that we tend to see around the holidays, or the characters that we avoid around the holidays. So if there's some old story that's coming up right now, instead of assuming you know the storyline or letting somebody else tell you your story, maybe use this time and this energy as an opportunity to explore and be curious about what conclusions, decisions, and assumptions you made about you and about others and about life and about love and anything else, right? Just be curious about what conclusions did you make back then? Because just by being in that conversation with yourself, you can actually heal a lot. So if you have the notion that you are the author of your story, and that, as any storyteller does, at different times you may have exaggerated the story here or there to make it worse or to make it better. Just have the concept that whatever you did at any time, today or before, you did it to take care of yourself with the information that you had at the time. And whatever you came up with was genius at the time. It may, however, not work for you anymore. the genius solution for the 10-year-old or the 20-year-old may really not be the genius solution for the 30 or the 50-year-old, right? Allow yourself to be in the conversation with you about your life. Having gratitude really does change everything. To be in the state of gratitude, which is different than the lip service of gratitude. My body translates it into appreciation. So when I'm in a state of appreciation, I have to show up in a way. The best example of this is that beautiful sunset that you were too busy, driving home or trying to answer the phone or whatever to actually appreciate, right? You saw it out of the color of your eye, out of the corner of your eye, beautiful colors, sundown happens every day, and you go on. And you can actually say, I'm grateful for the sundown, and still not be moved, really not experience the sunset. So instead of agreeing with the gratitude that everybody's beating everybody else up with today or this time of year, what if you just invite yourself to find something that you really appreciate? It doesn't have to sound like much to anybody else, but something that you actually appreciate. Maybe you do appreciate the way that pile of leaves looks next to the fence as you're walking in your neighborhood. Or maybe you really appreciate the lights on that tree. See, it doesn't take much, but be in the state of invitation with yourself about what do I appreciate, and appreciate it. So the thing about being in that energy is that it feels really good because it's something that you like, and you're liking what you like. And liking what you like, it's like the ultimate GPS system. You are designed to do what you came here to do, and what you came here to do heavily involves what you like and what you love. And so you like what you like for a reason, because it's the way that your higher self can instruct and invite and encourage you on your own path, right? It's very cleverly been littered with the exact breadcrumbs that you like and would want to follow. So this Thanksgiving, this holiday season, just be aware of the social gratitude or the lip service gratitude or the gratitude that's being projected at you that's actually making you annoyed. You can be consciously aware of all of that without having to defend or fight it. You can just notice it. And then instead, what you can spend your energy on, the reality that you can spend your life force energy solidifying for the world, for you, is whatever it is that you actually do appreciate. There's been so much around Thanksgiving and the propaganda about the Indians and the Pilgrims, or specifically the propaganda about the Pilgrims. And there's a lot of deconstructing of the whitewash that's going on right now, which is wonderful, and it can be uncomfortable, right? So be curious about what, if you were going to have a day in November having to do with something around something you like, what would that look like for you, right? I actually am very grateful that I get to eat turkey. So I'm pretty easily amused. But maybe you're grateful, maybe you have a sense of appreciation that you don't have to be around family anymore. I spent about 20 years not being around family of origin for anything, much less the holidays. And I I started out with kind of a painful story around all of that, but it turned into a really wonderful thing. And it's a gift that I'm really grateful to myself that I gave myself for all those years. So, what are you actually grateful for? Not lip service. It doesn't have to play well on Facebook. You don't have to tell anybody about it. But what are you grateful for? What can you feel a real sense of appreciation about? And include you in that. You know, maybe you're grateful for your smart-ass mouth. Maybe you're grateful for the way you have maintained relationships. And maybe you're grateful for the way you've been able to release relationships that no longer serve you. It really doesn't matter what you're grateful for, but it really does matter that you spend some time and energy with your body, feeling the energy, the vibration, the sensation of what you love. And this is a great time of year to do that. So I validate you for your feistiness. I validate you for your point of view. And I invite you to have a sense of curiosity and adventure and less attachment to what you're defending and more attachment to what you love. And just see what happens. Yeah. All right. Thanks for being here. I'm sure I'll see you again soon. So, happy Thanksgiving.